Drop it!
15-minute main, and I'm in the 7 hole. And about 4 seconds in, I'm in dead last.
Oh, God.
Yeah, across the timing loop, in last place. This is the part where the slow guy is supposed to stay slow. So let me tell you how I started dead last, and somehow didn't quite finish there. If you're new here, I'm JV, and I'm a slow RC car racer who likes to do fast guy things, but emphasis on the slow part of that sentence.
Oh, shit!
And today I made my best ever finish in the 40 plus nitro buggy class, on used tires, on purpose.
I thought they were calling it for real. Alright, clear out.
Well, it's 5:30 in the morning, and I hit the snooze button twice. It's already sunny out here in Northern California. Now, there were 2 big races this weekend in the area. One was the TNR race down in Norco, and the other one in Ramona. And I skipped both of them. One, because of money, and because of time. And honestly, I'm not sure if I'm quite ready for big race action yet. But that'll change again soon. So instead, I made the 1-hour track through the East Bay Hills to Delta RC Hobbies in Antioch. It's club racing day. And then there's the gear. And instead of dragging 3 wagon loads 100 yards to the track, today it's only about 80 yards. I still got sweaty, and I still got a little gas, but hey, we got it done. Now here's where I made it harder on myself for the day. Since it's a club race and there's not really a lot of incentive to win, no sponsor leverage on the line, I gave myself a little bit of a rule. And that rule was, use tires only, all day. And I'll say it again just because I needed to hear it twice. Use tires only. And to be quite honest with you, the reason is simple. There's nothing too much on the line today except my setup and driving. And that's the whole goal. So no, I wasn't expecting to make a splash in the standings. But I do have a duty here. It's to show you that you can still have fun like this. You don't need to blow $80 on a set of new tires to enjoy the track. And today I'm gonna prove it to you. And it might be the hard way. Well, the first job is to tune the engine. And it's not far off from where I was in Chico, but behind the scenes, I'm always working on my own game. Here's what I figured out about myself. On about 90% of the tracks that I run, I live in the mid RPM range. I almost never really pin it wide open. So I went chasing a more linear power band, something a little smoother down low and through the middle. Then I tuned the high needle, the low needle, and of course the idle. And then I did something that I've been kind of scared to make big moves on. I made a huge big turn left on the mid needle. And I have to say, I wish I had more confidence to do this months ago. Because now the engine sounds and feels like $1 million. Let me put it in plain terms. A spicy mid-needle made the car snap when I got back on the throttle. In fact, it made it feel kind of twitchy, and it made it hard to keep the car smooth. Basically too much power. And I'm not that much of a smooth driver, so I made the engine, well, smooth for me. Because of that, the car got way less herky-jerky. The weight transfer off throttle and back on, it came from basically a handful to something that I could actually control. And here's a spoiler. It didn't exactly kill my fuel economy either. In fact, it made it better. And yeah, hold on to that thought, because it's going to matter later. I started practice on the e-buggy and used some blue reflexes. And the first thing I noticed, the corners and jumps were still in the same spot, just like last time. But they'd cleaned up the jumps overnight, so in the morning everything looked smooth and fast. But that was a lie that the track was telling me. Those smooth morning lines, they were going to be gone by the end of the day. There are sections out there growing arms, grabbing the buggy by the lower A arm, and smacking it sideways and right back onto its own lid. So I knew the plan had to change. Different race lines, not to go fast, but rather to survive. And with the used tire rules that I made earlier in the day, picking the right worn tire mattered even more. Finally, I got to run some nitro, my favorite. The tune felt great on the track, and the fresh clutch was exactly what the doctor ordered.
Not supposed to have that. We'll try to get a little bit.
I learned in Chico that my old clutch was kind of worn out. It couldn't lay the power down at the right time anymore, but now this one could. Now, I always like to make my life complicated for no reason. But this track was gonna make it complicated for me, without me having to, well, drive far to find it. So me staying close to home, turns out that was the right call. One more decision though. I decided not to run e-buggy today. You know, it's a warm day. It was a long week at work. The UV index was 10 out of 10 here in East Contra Costa County.
It's like deceivingly rough out there. Yeah, it's weird.
And adding more work for myself sounded like a bad idea. We're here to nerd out on toy cars and play in the dirt. There's no need to make it an insane day.
It is a little warmer this week.
So today, it's one class, 40 plus nitro buggy.
Ooh.
So I slammed through an epic breakfast burrito and went to go qualify. All right, here we are, round one. And I started on my old blue reflexes.
Yeah, well, you get filled up anyway.
That honestly shouldn't have come out of the bag though. But in my head, the stakes were low. And those 40 plus guys around here are kind of fast. I was pretty much expecting to be at the bottom of the barrel again. Which is fine. I knew what I was getting myself into. The track was running dry all day, so blue reflexes, not my best choice. So I finished 7th out of 13. I wasn't thrilled. I wasn't exactly bummed, but for me, it's all about looking forward to what's right in front of you. So it's back to the pits, clean the car, and inspect it. Make sure we're moving forward. Round 2, I made some changes. I lightened up the sway bars. And I switched to some slightly fresher J-Concepts Recon tires. Quick little nerd note on those. The Recon is a medium pin tire. It has an X pattern with fangs on the sides facing forward. I run these when a green track is starting to grip up, or when there's a little dust in an established line. And half the reason I run them is for, well, insurance. It's for getting out of the way when the fast guys are coming up to lap me. So I also started picking better lines too. The jumps were building their own off-camber faces, and the downhill after the step up was starting to blow out. So I went with a little bit of a motocross line through there. Now, did I move up? No. I might even move down a spot. And I played it conservative, and I got caught in some loud traffic. But I put in a whole extra lap, and I had the pace, one more on top of that. So for some of you internet fast guys, that's nothing, but for me, that was a big deal, and I was kind of thrilled. And now it's time for the main. 15 minutes, and I'm back in the 7-hole. The only goal I set for myself was don't get lapped 5 times by the fast guys. And that was the bar.
Feel! Okay.
All right. Fuel them up, fuel them up, fuel them up. Down and quiet. And off we go.
Down and quiet. Drop it!
And like I told you at the top, it's an awful start. I crossed the loop in dead last. But I remembered we had a strategy. I remember we had a good car. And I remembered that we had race lines that kept me safe and let me make a pass when it's there. My pitman, Anthony, was in my ear the whole time, telling me where to push and where to take it easy.
Lap, it's all right. We'll figure it out. We always figure it out.
And then, the fuel economy strategy paid off.
I remember, yeah.
Remember that mid-needle tune? I didn't have to pit until 9 minutes into a 15-minute race. So while some of the internet fast guys were stopping to fill up, I was still out there picking the field as best I can. And the car felt just right. The T-Marks and Yugen MBX-8R felt predictable. It ate the bumps.
What else thinking about it? We're doing all right. I'm feeling good. That's what I'm feeling good.
So once I got comfortable, I started to push it a little bit. And next thing I know, I'm moving up.
Is that leader?
The Live RC software is even saying I'm in the top 5. I never get my name called on the top 5.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is weird. But just because something's weird or going your way, we can't let off. We gotta buckle down and keep doing the work. My engine felt amazing. The power band was something that I could actually use. Those extra few minutes of tuning this morning were paying off. And of course, right when I was finally having fun, the race was over.
Well, that was fun.
And somehow, I finished 4th. My best ever finish in the 40 plus class at Delta. Here's the thing I need to keep coming back to. The goal is not speed, the goal is consistency, which is convenient because I've got a lot of better access to consistency than I do speed. I came off of that stand happy. I mean, really happy. Today was an unexpected personal best, and I'm gonna take that. So sure, we only went club racing, but I drove home with a ton of information. The moves I made with the car, the tire game, race line choices, they're all actually getting better. So does the work stop now? Absolutely not. It means I keep polishing all of it, on the track and off, and I bring it to the race. Which, speaking of that, is probably the next weekend or two here. So, I gotta get back on the horse, and we've gotta get wrenching together again. So yeah, we had fun. We kept the schedule relaxed. We made smart, informed calls all day. And I got my personal best in the 40 plus class. I'll call that a win for the slow RC car racer in all of us. You went racing with me. JB Goes Racing. I'll see you during the week when we get some wrenching in.